Let's look at the word level shortcuts in Visual Studio. This is Daniel, and you are going to get coded. If you haven't watched the introductory video, please click here. In this video, I explain everything you need to know before jumping into shortcuts, okay? So please consider watching that video first. If you have, welcome. Let's look at the word level shortcuts. And before I continue, I have to tell you that I use OBS, the open broadcast software, to screen record my screen, so to record my screen. If I press on F12, I'm going to close the video, so to end the video. I don't want to do that, okay? So I think only on this level I have the F12 key, so I am unable to press it, okay? If I press it, the video stops. So whenever I have F12, as you can see here, I will use the mouse, okay? But you need to use the keyboard. You need to press on F12. And F9 for me is to start. So F9 to start the video, F12 to end the video. This is how I end and start the videos, okay? So I hope you understand that. Let's start. So the first one, how to select a word, Control plus W. So let's try to go here, for example, the laptops, okay? You can use the mouse. So you can double click and you can select the word. But we don't want to use the mouse, we want to use the keyboard. So to select the word, we need Control and W. And you can see the word is selected. This is very nice, and I use it a lot, actually, because I don't want to do something like this, and you are able to see it afterwards. And also I have an extra space here, which I get when I select with the keyboard like that, and you are going to see that very soon. But in order to actually select only one word, you can use Control W and W for word, okay? The next one, IntelliSense. This one is huge. So Control plus space. And also, these shortcuts are for Windows only. I don't have any familiarity with MacBook, so the Mac OS system. I know that for Control you have Command, and for Shift you have the arrow or the sign, I don't know. I really don't know the shortcuts for MacBook. You can try to replace them one by one and to actually try to say, okay, Command and W, and try to see if it works. Otherwise, I cannot help you with that because I don't have a MacBook. So I wanted to actually practice these for some time before trying to teach them to you. So I had to use only the Windows version of the shortcuts, okay? So these are not for MacBook. These are not for Mac OS operating system. So Control space for IntelliSense. Let's try to go down, so to scroll down, and you can see here I have a for each statement or for each loop, and I have a laptop variable. So let's try to say laptop. You can see that right now I have IntelliSense. So I have a list of suggestions generated by Visual Studio, which helps me to actually see what I can write right now. So as I type, we have a list of suggestions. Sometimes this list closes and I want to open it up. So I can say Control space and I can open the IntelliSense. Also, this is very useful when you have something like a variable name, so laptop, and then you say dot, you have the IntelliSense. So here you have a list of all the methods with the cube and all the properties with this key associated with this specific type. So this is of type key value pair, okay? This is again IntelliSense, and sometimes this is not available to you. So you can press Control space and you can open this IntelliSense, okay? And then you can use the arrow keys and you can say enter. You get what I mean. F1 for help. Many times you don't actually know a specific type or a specific keyword. So let's try to remove what I have written and let's try to go to for each. Okay, maybe I want to know more about for each. I am a beginner, I don't know what for each is. I can press F1. And this will open up in your default browser. My default browser is Firefox. This is the browser that I use. So you'll go directly to Microsoft's website specifically for each. So you don't actually have to go to your browser, go to Google, type the keyword or the class name. You can only press F1 and you go directly to their website, their documentation, and read everything you need to know about that specific keyword. Let's try with a class. I have here dictionary, so let's try to press F1 on dictionary, and hopefully we are going straight to the documentation for dictionary, and you can find all the overloaded methods, or not the methods, the constructors for the dictionary class type, and also some examples, some remarks, and so on. So this is very useful. Next one, close dialog. Whenever you have a dialog opened, maybe the IntelliSense or maybe another window, you want to close it. So you don't want to press like on the X. I want to close it somehow, and many of them don't actually have an X to close. So let's try to see the IntelliSense. If I open up the IntelliSense even over here, I have all the things that I might want to write, okay? But I don't want this, and sometimes IntelliSense just pops out for no reason. I don't know why this happens sometimes. So you can close it by saying escape. So escape. Also, I know that Control B opens up a dialog. I don't use this dialog, but I can press escape and this is closed as well. So escape to close dialog, windows, menus, pop-outs, all that thing. Control and dot for suggestions. I think this is like top 3 shortcuts you need to know. So Control dot. Before I show you guys this, I need to like explain the context in which you use it. Many times when you have red squiggly lines underneath your words, you need to use this first. So before jumping into code and trying to actually implement or trying to understand what is wrong with your code, try Control dot, and that will open up a list of suggestions or a quick fix or quick access list of things, and you can select. So let's try to say for instance, the dictionary comes from system.collections.generic. Let's try to remove this one. And we got an error over here because this type doesn't exist, cannot be found. And you can see that this one has an associated light bulb and sometimes have a key or something like that. In order to actually solve this, you can just press Control dot, and this opens up the quick access, and it tells you what options you might have to actually get rid of this specific error. So we can use the first one to include the using statement for this specific dictionary class. So if we press enter, you can see that this line got again over here. Let's try to show it one more time. So Control dot, enter. Right now is here, and we got rid of the error. Okay, so before you actually try to implement those things or to solve those things, try to press Control dot. Maybe you have a missing using statement. Maybe you have forgotten to actually add a reference to another project, to another library. So these things happen. These things happen to me as well. So this is like a quick fix to not actually write a lot and stress your mind for nothing. The next one, we have an actual pair, so lowercase and uppercase. Control U, lowercase, Control Shift and U for uppercase. So let's see this word. I want to make it lowercase. So I want to first select the word, so Control W, we have learned that, and then Control U. Right now this is lowercase. And you can see we have an error because C# is a case sensitive language, meaning dictionary with lowercase is completely different than dictionary with uppercase. So there are two different things. Also, we can press on Control A to select everything and then Control U. And you can see all the words got lowercased. And we have many errors. And we can do the same for uppercase. So let's try to select again all the words and then Control, Shift, and U to uppercase everything. And again, we have many more errors right now. So nothing actually works. So Control Z to actually go back. And we have no errors. Okay, so lowercase, uppercase, interesting to know. Next up, the F12. So I am unable to press on F12. So I'll use the mouse. But again, you should get rid of the mouse for 1 hour, 2 hours, or at least while I'm explaining these things, don't try to use the mouse. So the first one, F12, to go to the definition. So this is very useful when you want to know the actual class you are working with. So maybe you want to know the members, like the methods, the properties, the events of a specific type. And you can go to the definition. You can go to the definition of that specific class. So you can press on dictionary F12, but I'll press right key and then go to definition. As you can see, F12. So hopefully you'll go here, and this is built in C# because the dictionary class is a built-in class in C#. And here you can see all the constructors, all the methods, all the definition. You can also go to your custom classes, so to the classes that you create. So let's try to close this one, and I'll go to laptop for right now. And you can press F12. I'll press again right click and go to definition. This is the laptop definition, okay? This is my own class, and I can see the properties and the method. I have an overridden version of the toString method. So very nice. Also, you can go to the declaration. So there's a difference between definition and declaration. And let's try to go back to the program class. And you can see it right here. I have a variable laptops, and this is a variable declaration. And afterwards, you can see highlighted all the usages of this specific variable. So this was used 3 times, okay? We can go to any of these times when we use the variable and press Ctrl and F12, okay? I'll use the mouse. I need to go to implementation. So declaration, implementation, same thing. And we go right here. So we go to the declaration. The moment we say var laptops equals, so var variable name equals, that's the declaration, that's the implementation, the first time. And then we have the usages. So other times when we use it. Then we have the peak definition, which is interesting because sometimes you don't want to open up in a new file. Maybe I don't want to open this up in a separate file. I want in the same file that I'm currently working, and that makes sense. So let's try to go to the dictionary again and say Alt and F12. And for me, I'll try to see if I have it here. So Alt F12, and you can peek the definition. So inside this window, inside this file, I open up a new window, okay, for that specific dictionary class. So it's the same class, but right now only here. So I don't have to go to the other file, so to open up a new file, which is very convenient for me because I can look simultaneously in both files, and I can adjust my code specifically to what I find here, okay? So the peak definition is amazing. And the last one from this video, find all references. So as I told you a couple of seconds ago, the laptop's variable is used a couple of times. We can find all of them by actually using the mouse again, which is not the right thing to do, and then you can see the highlighted variable. So the same variable is highlighted every single time we use it. So every single time the name is used. But we can use the Shift and F12 to actually find all the references. So we can choose any of the references of any time we reference the variable and say find all references. So find all references, Shift and F12, and opens up this window over here, and I hope you can see it. And it shows you each line this variable was used, so every single time. And if you double click, you'll go there, which is very convenient. So 3 times, we don't have to count it. Visual Studio is smart enough to actually see every single time we used it, and we can go directly to that specific line. So this is the word level shortcuts. So you can select, you can have IntelliSense, quick access, lowercase, uppercase suggestions, so many suggestions, and declaration. So you can go to definition, to declaration, to pick the definition and find all the usages of a specific variable. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click thumbs up. Also consider subscribing. Until next time, bye guys.